Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my week 25 and week 26 pregnancy update. I feel like time is just flying by now. It felt like it took forever to start, but it's just going by really, really fast. And I just want to apologize first for the appearance. As I explained in several videos before, I have to do this when I can fit it in, especially with Christmas going to be here soon. Everything is just so crazy busy, and so when I get a chance to do it first thing in the morning before kids and all wake up, that's when I have to do it. So I know you guys don't really care. Sorry about the interruption. I do have one child that's awake. He decided to get up before 6 o'clock this morning. On school days, I can't get him out of bed to save my life, but on a weekend, he decides to get up at the same time I do. And mom life. Anyways, I know you guys don't care about my appearance, but I just hate to look like a bum in every video. anyways, I also apologize for the lighting. We do have a light bulb out in this room, and so it's kind of dark, and we need to get that replaced. But I'm trying to stay as close to this light as possible so you guys can see okay. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and this pregnancy update is going to be a little bit different than the other ones. Usually I start with like symptoms and cravings and stuff like that, but this far along not much has really changed. So I'm just going to let you know about the baby's size for those 2 weeks, and then just some things that have been going on. So in week 25, the baby was about the size of an eggplant, 1.5 inches, or no, I'm sorry, 1.5 pounds and 13 inches. And then week 26, the baby was the size of an acorn squash, is what it was compared to, and was about 2 pounds and 14 inches. And I got that information off of the What to Expect app. So a lot has been going on. I don't remember too much of anything going on in week 25, but a ton of stuff happened in week 26. So I started getting very severe heartburn again in week 26. I bought some of like the chewy Tums, not the ones that I showed you before. I tried a different kind, the ones that kind of look like Mentos, and those they didn't even touch it. So I did have to go back and get the ones that I had shown you guys before, the Cherry Chews, and those help a lot, but it's been so bad that it doesn't even help for very long. It will reduce some of that stomach acid for maybe an hour, but then like as soon as I eat or drink something else, it starts building back up again. And like sometimes I'll feel it just like coming up my throat. It's just so bad. It's disgusting. But that's all I've been doing to help the heartburn, is just those chewy Tums when I can. You're supposed to take 2 every time that you take them, and you can only take 4 in a 24-hour period. So I will only do it once or twice a day because that's all I can do. As you can tell from my thumbnail picture, I did have to go to the ER again. I don't know if it was like a muscle thing, because you guys knew that I was sick and I was coughing a lot. And I don't know if it just like made stomach muscle sore or something. But anytime I would get a Braxton Hicks contraction, I would get just strong, sometimes Charlie horse pain just like right in my waistline, and it was so painful. I just didn't even know what to do about it. And I was taking baths like they told me to, like the doctors told me to, and but they would still happen. And I increased my water again, probably not as much as I'm supposed to drink, but I was drinking water all day long. And I did increase it. I just I tried to down it, just like chug it as much as I could, just to get that extra water in there, and it still wasn't helping. And I felt like I was having back to back contractions, and there were certain points in certain days that I couldn't even stand up off the couch or out of a chair or get out of my car, and it's still kind of like that, or even walk up my stairs without having a Braxton Hicks contraction. And some of them are really painful, and I can feel them all the way around to my back. I can feel them up here, just take over my entire stomach. And it was very painful. And I called my doctor, and I don't know how much of the information got relayed to him, but a nurse or his assistant or something called me back, and I felt like they really kind of blew it off. Like I was just over exaggerating about a situation. And they're just like, well, Braxton Hicks contractions are normal. And I'm like, yes, I know that. This is my third child. I know that they're normal. But this does not feel normal. And they're like, well, you can take a Benadryl. Well, it's the middle of the day, and I have 2 kids, and I drive all day long. I can't take a Benadryl. Okay, well, you can take a bath. Well, I'm already doing that. I just really felt like they blew it off and didn't want to look any further into it, that I was just over exaggerating a Braxton Hicks contraction. And last time I saw my doctor, which was last week, I told him that too. I told him that I felt like they really blew it off, and I'm really not one to complain, but I felt like they made it seem like it wasn't a big deal. And considering all the issues that I'm having with my legs, which have gotten better, by the way, now that I wear my compression socks every single day. I wear them in the morning when I get dressed, and I don't take them off until I go to bed at night. And they really have improved that extra pressure that I was feeling, and dizziness, because I was feeling really lightheaded, like out of nowhere. And I think that was just the heavy blood flow just like rushing down. But now that I wear my compression socks and things are kind of flowing better, I feel a whole lot better. I don't get dizzy nearly as much. I don't feel that intense pressure and burning in my legs and in my the like creases on my legs or anything like that. I feel like everything's starting to feel better, which is good. So don't put off compression socks. If you need them, you need them. And especially now that it's like pants season, nobody sees them anyway. But I did go to the ER. They did hook me up to one of those belly bands that monitor your contractions. And I had quite a few while I was there. And I was like watching them on the monitor, and no, they're not labor contractions. So they weren't like flying off the charts, but they were some pretty good sized contractions for being 26 weeks. And they told me that too. But they did check, they swabbed me to make sure I wasn't leaking any fluid. And they just like asked me a bunch of questions and monitored the baby's heart rate for a while. And I felt like they really went above and beyond to make sure that I wasn't going into early labor. And I was not. They checked my cervix too, and they were completely closed. So that was good. They just basically chalked it up to well, this is your third pregnancy. You are gaining weight a little bit more rapidly because, your body knows what to do, and it's just moving and stretching and getting big. And um, because my body is so little, it's just very heavy on my body. It's a lot on my body. And so basically, just because this is my third pregnancy, well, my third child, my third time getting this far, and I just, it's just a lot of weight, and I'm on my feet a lot more and taking care of the other two. That my body, this is just how my body's reacting to it. But they did say to just keep an eye on it. If I feel like things are getting worse or not getting any better, and I'm just severely uncomfortable, that I can always go back to them and they will reevaluate everything again. So I felt like they really cared, and they went above and beyond to make sure that everything was going okay, and they didn't just kind of push it off. So all went well at the ER. I have been um, resting a little bit more when I can. I sit down. I'm trying not to go crazy with the nesting like I was, because pushing myself to clean constantly was just, it was just too much, and it was really putting it some pressure on my body. And I also have another child awake. I hear her coming down the stairs now, so we may get interrupted again. um, so I did go to the cardiologist. I told you guys before that I do have heart problems, and I was really concerned about my heart for a while. I felt like I had felt palpitations, but I was not. They checked my pacemaker, and everything looked good. And I saw the cardiologist, and she put me on a diet because I am just gaining weight too fast. And also because of the amount of fat and sodium that I have been consuming, it's really hard on those veins in my legs too. So it's not like a major diet or anything. It's more so just cutting out some of the salt, cutting back on some of the fats, eating healthier carbohydrates, anything that's brown, like wheat bread with all the seeds and grains and stuff like that. Eating more brown rice or quinoa rather than, hi baby, like bagels and stuff like that. And if you guys saw my last grocery haul, you saw a little bit about the kind of groceries I've been buying. And then she also sent me to do an echocardiogram on my heart. And usually during pregnancy, I get a mild case of aortic stenosis, which is stiffening of the aortic valve. And so I thought for sure that I was gonna have that again, and I actually did not. Everything came back looking extremely healthy and extremely normal, and that's all I could ask for, and I was really happy to hear that. I also went and did my glucose test, and I never really heard any results back on that, but I'm assuming it's normal. Hold on, baby. And when I did go to the cardiologist, she sent me to go do some labs because she didn't have any updated lab work on me. And in those labs, it showed that I was slightly anemic. But that's normal for me during pregnancy. I was slightly anemic with both my other kids too. I just have to take an iron supplement to help that. And then just some things that are to come. I am about to hit my third trimester. Woohoo! I'm excited about that. It's a very bittersweet feeling because, in some ways, I'm extremely over this. I'm ready to see my baby girl. I'm ready to get back to normal weight. But also, since this is my last pregnancy, I do want to just enjoy every part of it as much as I can and not rush things, because I know in a year, maybe two, I'm going to miss it. And then we are starting on the baby's room. Now, I wanted to show you guys my living room transformation, but in my other videos, you guys have already seen my living room pretty much. But I still will do a brief video on that. Once we get the baby's room done, I will show you guys the before and after of my living room, and then I want to show you guys the before and after of that upstairs bedroom. So that video is to come. I'm not exactly sure as to when. We have been so crazy busy, especially with Christmas coming up, and then just working as much as we can and trying to still clean and get the kids to and from school and events and just everything. It's been just insanely busy. That's why I'm kind of late on getting this video out as well. And then last but not least, now I have one more doctor's appointment, and then he is going to start seeing me every 2 weeks. So that's exciting because it lets me know that I'm somewhat getting towards the end. So if you guys have any questions or have any inputs to anything, any positive comments, I would love to hear it. Please give this video a thumbs up. And yep, Avery's giving a thumbs up too. You give him a thumbs up? Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you guys can finish out this journey with me. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.